If you release a model on MakerWorld and it's really successful, can you use your MakerWorld points to get yourself a completely free 3D printer, or do you only get enough points for the clock kit or something like that? Well, the answer is inside this box. But before I show you what I was able to get completely with MakerWorld points, we had to talk through how I got here and how I built an AI system to predict how many points you get for any level of engagement, which I shared, so you will be able to make these predictions for your models as well. So what is the MakerWorld point system and how do you get these points? Well, MakerWorld at one point was a new contender to the 3D printing model space, and they wanted to entice people to use it by giving these points. So when you upload models to MakerWorld and people download them, you get points. And this also encourages Bamboo users to engage with the platform, to give ratings and things like that. So when you first sign up, you'll get up to 20 points for completing your profile. You can get up to 10 points by creating models using Maker Lab, which is another feature they want people to use and to learn about. There's something called Bamboo Academy where you can get up to 100 points. I haven't got any of these, but they must be tutorials and things like that to teach you how to get the most out of your printer. If you upload models, you can get up to 20 points just for the upload, and I believe that's 10 points per upload for 2 models. You also get up to 50 points for giving ratings and pictures on the models that you've printed. Now this is recurring, so you can get it more than one time, and it recurs every 1 or 2 months or so. The first 2 times I had it, I maxed it out, so I was giving all of the ratings, uploading pictures to everything that I could. But then one time I was too busy, I didn't have time to upload pictures and stuff, so it disappeared before I could upload anything, and I haven't got it since. So maybe they stop giving you this like ratings reward if you don't engage with it. So I'd recommend you do fill this in, even if you're kind of busy and the 50 points doesn't seem worth it. And there's another reason why. So the reason you should do this actually, and I didn't realize this, is if you're not giving people ratings, comments, and pictures, you're not going to be getting boosts yourself that you can then give to the creators that you like. So after I stopped filling this in, I was getting tons of boosts that I can give out. I was getting one every couple of days, but then I got 0, and I had 0 for many weeks, even though I was printing regularly, and they say that you need to print to get the boosts. So you need to be engaging on MakerWorld to get the boosts. So I'd recommend you rate the models that you like, that you leave comments and questions and pictures, because not only does it help out the creators, but it also helps you out in the long run. Then we get into the rewards that you get for engagement with your models. Now the most basic is that if someone boosts you, you get exactly 12 points, and they've calculated this so that a boost gives the creator about $1 worth of gift card, which is quite a lot. Like, I didn't realize when I was boosting people just how much I was helping them. And depending on whether they're buying filament individually or in bulk and what kind of filament, that single boost can give a creator between 50 and 70 grams of filament just for one boost that costs you nothing. But then we get into the high quality model rewards and the high quality profile rewards. And this is the reason that I've spent so much time collecting this data and building this predictive model to help me figure out how many points you get. So they used to actually share this information completely openly. They would say that if a model had less than or equal to 50 downloads, you get 15 points for every 10 downloads. At different levels, it kind of decays, but they were very open about this. And they gave these numbers for models and also for print profiles, which are separate rewards. But then quite recently, they've decided to make the entire thing a black box. And the reason they did this was to fight gaming so that people could no longer cheat the system. But as a creator, it's really frustrating not knowing just how much of a reward you're going to get for your models. So I tried to research this, and I knew it wasn't going to be as perfect or exact as this because the new model accounts for the quality of the model and there are new factors that wasn't in this old system. But when I was uploading my first models, I really wanted to know roughly, like if I got the same numbers that I was seeing on these popular models, if I got 1,000 likes or 1,000 prints, how many points would I get roughly? So I started uploading my models anyway, and then collecting the data on what reward I was getting exactly and how much engagement I had gotten at that point. Now, my first model that got any points was this time-lapse mod. I made a video about it. Every couple of days, every week or so, I would get 15 points. So this was not very much at all. And I thought maybe that's all you could ever get, just like this tiny drip feed of points. But then I uploaded the Holy Grail tribute Drybox. And before I get into this, a huge thank you for the response and all the engagement with it. I'm so happy that people are printing this thing and they're getting use out of it and they're asking good questions. So just a huge thank you. All of the points we're going to talk about in this are thanks to you guys. So I don't want to sound like I'm taking that for granted at all. Very early on, this was getting more engagement and more points than the time-lapse mod. So I started collecting this data and I thought, oh, this is way more points than it was before. Can I use this to get an H2D? This was before the H2C came out. So I ran some numbers, and this graph in the top left shows you how many points I was getting per day, and they are colored by model. So each color is a different model that was giving me a different reward. And so I got ahead of myself. I calculated how long it would take me to get an H2D at the current rate that I was getting points. And it was like between 1 and 2 years. And I thought, oh God, maybe this is not going to go anywhere. But I persevered. I kept collecting this data. I kept adding every observation. So every high quality model reward, every high quality print profile reward for every model and every print profile. The numbers improved over time. And then eventually I uploaded the single spool version of the Drybox, which also did reasonably well. I uploaded samples that can slot into the Drybox. I had to upload a new version of the Drybox that takes the samples. And so over time, the rewards I was getting were improving. And here's where I started to use my predictive model to do what Bamboo are trying to stop me from doing. And I tried to figure out how to finesse the system. So my early models predicted that comments are overpowered. It thought that each comment gives you on average between 10 and 30 points. And if this was true, then I'm sure that my comments weren't counted, but I thought that if I engaged with people, if I answered their questions and asked them questions in return, maybe they replied, maybe other people in the future saw that I'm replying to comments, maybe they're more likely to comment. So I tried to go all in on comments. My plan worked in a way in that I was getting many more comments on the models, but then I got a harsh awakening from Goodhart's law. Goodhart's law tells you that when there's a metric that's being measured and you try to optimize it, then it loses all meaning. It stops working as a metric. And that's kind of what I realized here. Like in the data, it looked like comments were important, but then as soon as you start optimizing for this thing, you realize that it's kind of meaningless. And so the importance of comments dropped over time. What you can see in this bottom row on the second graph from the left, this is how important each feature was. And you can see that over time, the change in comments loses importance. So it drops slowly here. It looks very important, but then it drops. So begging for comments wasn't exactly going to work, but what else could we do? Well, I noticed that I got a huge high quality print profile reward as soon as I got the first rating, and it was a 5-star rating. Thank you. And so I thought, okay, maybe you get points for ratings. So I started asking people for ratings. If someone left a comment saying they loved it, thank you, with a picture, I'd say, thank you so much, glad it helped you. Do you mind leaving a rating? It really helps me out. And this worked, so I was getting lots of ratings. But then like the comments, as soon as you start to optimize for something, it stops working as well as it was before. My latest opinion on ratings is that they do matter, because I've noticed this same thing multiple times. that a print profile will have no rewards, but then as soon as it gets a 5-star rating, it'll start getting rewards for the first time. If it takes time to get that rating, then it can build up and you get lots of points all at once for all of this cumulative engagement that's built up. And I still do ask people for ratings, and I still engage with the comments, but it's not for the sole reason of boosting the number of rewards that I get for these models. And then it's really frustrating. So you can see from these rules that they used to share that the more popular a model gets, the less reward it gets. And they haven't explicitly said that this applies to the new system. So I wanted to see whether it does apply, and unfortunately it does apply. So if you look in the top right, you can see that the more cumulative engagement it has, the fewer points you get per engagement. So this was really depressing, and I thought, oh, everything's going to trend to 0. I'm going to stop getting any points for any of this. But this is what encouraged me to release the single spool variant as a separate model, not just as a separate print profile on the same model for the Holy Grail Tribute Drybox. Same thing can be said about the samples. So I don't think this is gaming the system. Sometimes you see multiple models that are very similar and people do this so that you get more points. These 3 models I've released are clearly different things with very different geometry, but that decision was partly motivated by this decay that I've observed. So how many points did I get and what was I able to buy with them? So I decided to pull the trigger on the 11th of November, and Black Friday was in full swing. So by spending it now, I was going to get the most that I could for my money. And I ran this quick analysis to figure out what the best way is to use your points, because there are different things that you can buy with it. You can buy STLs, which I have no interest in really. You can buy the hardware kits, so like the boat model kit, clock components kit, marble run components kit, Maker's beginner kit. The most tempting here is the Maker's Essential Kit A, because it's more serious hardware. It's like motors and springs and lots of these little components. And because of this analysis, you can see that it's the best bang for your buck in terms of getting the most retail value for these components for the smallest number of points. The worst value is redeeming your points for cash. I couldn't do that anyway because my models weren't exclusive on MakerWorld. And then kind of between cash and these kits, you can redeem your points for gift cards. And here you can see the relative value that you get per point, depending on how you choose to spend your points. Now this is only the US and the UK, but these trends apply everywhere, even if the exact numbers might be different. So what did I spend this on? So by this point, altogether, I had 3,500 points, so 3,512. I could have redeemed these for 6 gift cards, which would have given me £210 that I could spend on printers or anything that I wanted during Black Friday at Black Friday prices. So I could have had an A1, could have had an A1 Mini. If I was prepared to spend another £40, I could have even had an A1 Mini combo, A1 Mini with the AMS Lite. But what I decided was to do something more sensible. I bought the Maker's Essential Kit A. I didn't get any of the components kits because I wasn't really interested in them. And I got 4 gift cards, so £140 of gift cards that I could spend on the store. But then look at the A1 Mini price. So even after I had bought the Maker's Essential Kit, I could have got the A1 Mini during Black Friday completely for free. And this was also really tempting, and it was really hard for me to resist this. But I took a deep breath. I asked myself, do I need an A1 Mini? No. Does the A1 Mini do anything that I can't do now? No. There are some things that I can do now that the A1 Mini can't. Do I want a second printer? Am I printing so much that I want a second thing so I can print almost twice as much? And like, honestly, I thought I could get some usage out of it. And sometimes when I realize that I need lots of stuff all at once, it could help me print a huge backlog more quickly. But I decided that I don't need another printer, and I was better off spending it on other stuff that I would use with my existing printer. So let me show you what I've got. This is the Maker's Essential Kit. Looking forward to using this. Lots of dynamic things that you can make with the motors and springs. I got this Cyberbrick kit, which is the 2 forklifts one. This was also discounted in Black Friday. If I had waited until the next flash sale, it would have been even more discounted. But I paid $0 for this. I cannot complain. Looking forward to printing these things and then designing my own stuff, like my own cars and remotes to use with this kit. I really like that Bamboo offers always stack, so the gift cards work on Black Friday. I even got the free gift that other people got if they were buying the Maker's Essential kit at full price. Then I got some sensible stuff. So I got a backup 0.4mm hardened steel nozzle in case mine breaks. This is my workhorse nozzle. If something goes wrong with mine, I don't want to be without this. And some lube. Can't go wrong with some lube. I should look into buying this in bulk on like a third-party website. I'm sure I can get it cheaper. But for now, some Bamboo lube for that thirsty Y-axis that always needs lubing. And then, because I listened to my own advice about how to finesse a Bamboo sale, I had waited for this moment, and I knew there was going to be a sale on PETG carbon fiber, which is one of my favorite filaments, and I've only ever had one spool of it before, but it was half price in the upcoming flash sale. So I waited for it, and I was able to get 4 of these puppies. I wish they had red in the sale, but it was only black and some weird colors. But again, can't complain because I got that completely for free. So all in all, I think I was able to get £242 worth of stuff, not counting the free gift screwdriver, just with my MakerWorld points. And since then, so even though each model decays and you get fewer points per engagement for the more popular models, and again, a huge thank you to everyone downloading these models and the print profiles and leaving comments and ratings, even if they don't give me points. These models are becoming more popular recently. So actually, in the less than a month after I made this purchase, I was able to get 3 more gift cards and the clock kit. I do want to build a clock actually. And in the future, I might buy more of these kits, but only if and when I need them for specific projects. A couple of points here about like just how generous Bamboo are with these things. And please don't change this after like hearing me say this. I don't think they will change it. So it's not just that you can stack all these things and you can get them for free using a gift card and Black Friday sale. I also got free shipping on this. So they calculate free shipping if you have more than £45 that you're spending, but that's before the gift cards. So because the cart looked like it was over £45, shipping was free. And I still have £3.75p or something from that first purchase. But also, I think you can redeem points for these things multiple times. So actually, once I build a clock, I might get a second clock, I might get a second LED kit, even though I already have one that came with my printer as a free gift or something. So I really like this whole system overall. It's the best reward system in terms of what you get per engagement. And it's clear that they're always working on this and taking in feedback. So I saw a video by Need It Make It about him redeeming his points for, I think it was filament. And he noted that when he redeemed it initially, it says they'll get back to you within 5 to 7 days, but they didn't get back to him. They didn't approve them. So he had to chase support. And then they said, sorry, okay, now you can use your cards. For me, it was much quicker. So the first 4 that I redeemed were approved the next morning. Oh, it was actually like 3 and then 1 this next day or something, but they were redeemed very quickly. And then more recently, I redeemed these 3 all at once. It's weird, the first 2 were instantly like activated, I could use them. And it's only the most recent one that I had to wait, and it was another like day or something. Maybe it was 2 days. But anyway, the system is really generous. Thank you, Bamboo, for allowing me to get all this stuff for free. And they're improving it and they're taking on feedback, which is really good to see. So let's quickly talk through the machine learning analysis If you don't care about this and you just want to see how many points you'll get, or maybe you want to see how many points your favorite creator has from their points, I've created this free web app. So click it, put in the amount of engagement, and it will predict how many points they would have got if they were me. But there are some caveats there on like data and the limitations of the machine learning model, so I recommend you do read those as well before you take the predictions too seriously. So top left is rewards over time, which I've already talked about. And then the second graph is the error. So I tried 4 different machine learning models to make these predictions. Tried linear regression, ridge regression, random forests, and gradient boosted trees. And they kind of trade blows. There's no clear winner actually, especially if you look at model rewards and print profile rewards. In the end, I've decided to use ridge regression. Check the website in case I change my mind again. Each of these models is a way that you can do AI predictions. They work in very different ways. Linear regression, for example, is just fitting a straight line through the data and fitting the best line. And that doesn't work very well because it's not a straight line. The relationships are not linear. Each one of these models does something similar. Different models have different characteristics. So within distribution, meaning for the kinds of data that I was giving it, the tree-based methods were very good, but if I gave them more engagement than I ever had, they just gave you my highest engagement that I ever had in reality in the training data. Ridge regression does slightly better. So if you give it the engagement that a popular creator has, if they have more engagement than me, it will try to make a prediction. But as all machine learning, because that isn't in the training data, that kind of prediction is very likely to be very far off. And all of these graphs are evolving over time, so these show you how the data changed as I was collecting more data. This shows the correlation between the prediction and reality. And again, you can see that this is improving. It's better when I give it cumulative features, which means I tell it how popular the model already is, and so that it can account for this decay that I've noticed. Feature importance is really interesting. So I've trained this on all the data I have: downloads, prints, comments, likes, collections, boosts. But actually, I've done something called recursive feature elimination, which basically means you find out what's actually important, like what's actually counted here. And the only thing that is counted, or the model that gives me the best prediction, only looks at prints and downloads, which I combine using what Bamboo tell you. So they tell you that a print is worth 2 downloads. So kind of merge them and get a number for like equivalent downloads, and likes. So the only things that matter are equivalent downloads, which includes prints, and likes. And that is for all time and for the most recent day where I'm getting this prediction. This shows you how well the predictions perform. So on the x-axis, you see actual points, and on the y-axis, you get what my model predicts. If my model was perfect, they would be identical, so they would fall on this dashed line that goes across the diagonal. You can see that it is not perfect, but over time, as data is added, it gets closer and closer to that line. And so I think the predictions are very good, and you can quantify that by the mean absolute error, which means how far is my prediction from reality on average. And usually I'm predicting the reward that you'll get on a single day to within 5 points or less. And I'm working behind the scenes, so after I film this video, I'm going to make sure this is as accurate as possible for longer term predictions. If you put in, hundreds or thousands of downloads, prints, likes, I want it to perform well. The performance will be less good there, but it's still very good. And I'll include some metrics on the web app so you can see how well it's likely to perform. And this last thing on the bottom right tells you basically, is the model over predicting or under predicting? You'd hope that it's always like perfect, but it can't be. And you can see that at the moment, so this latest model that I'm looking at here is over predicting, because this number is actual minus predicted. So a negative number means it's predicting more than the actual. So after filming this video, I realized that there's a lot I don't talk about here. So there are other benefits on top of MakerWorld points. There are printable points, advertising revenue, affiliate sales, but also there are costs associated with developing this model. So I've run some numbers, and In the time period where I was developing my Holy Grail Drybox, which is most of my points, I bought 18 spools of clear PETG to develop this thing. Well, the vast majority of it was to develop this dry box. I have printed some other stuff with it, but that's probably less than one spool. And I bought these at an average price of £12.97p. So in total, I've spent £233.54 just in clear PETG to develop this dry box, which makes the numbers sound much less like lucrative. So I'm barely breaking even if you count filament spend versus like gift cards that I've been able to buy with the rewards. But there's other benefits as well, which I also haven't talked about in this video. And what I'm talking about is advertising revenue from the video where I talk through my design process for the Holy Grail Tribute Drybox, and affiliate sales that are associated with it. I think it's beyond the scope of this video to dive too deep into those in terms of like numbers and how worth it was. I want the focus of this video to be this AI model that I've trained and how you can use it to predict your own rewards and the rewards of other creators. But if you'd like to know more about the economics of this entire thing, so if you'd like me to figure out more specifically what I've spent, so factoring in the printer cost, some spools that were not clear PETG, and if you want to learn more about these other sources of income, so how much I earned from advertising on the video, how much I've earned from affiliate sales that are linked to the dry box, then please let me know in the comments below and I'll consider that for a future video. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'd love for you to check out this web app and give me your thoughts on it, what you like about it, what can be improved, and I'll work behind the scenes to improve it. I'm getting so many points recently in December that I will keep collecting data at least for another week or so, just to see if I can make this even better. Thanks so much. If you like this video at the intersection of AI and 3D printing, I think you'd like this video on how Claude Code nearly wrecked my printer, but ended up saving a long and expensive print.